Someday we'll get paid for this.
Hello, news fans. It's time for Scrapple News, and from high atop the Scrapple News towers here in downtown Philadelphia, I am the guy reading the teleprompter, AP Ticker. In case you missed it, on the overflogged 10th anniversary of 9/11,
on this 10th anniversary of September 11th,
Hooters would like to thank
our firefighters, policemen, and paramedics.
coming soon to a car commercial near you. President Obama said, "As Americans, we refuse to live in fear." He said this from behind the protection of a bulletproof glass shield surrounded by a phalanx of security, armed to the teeth. Meanwhile, across the country, Americans continued to disrobe at airports to make sure no one's got a bomb up their butt. Traffic in and out of New York City was disrupted due to extreme security measures. And Americans were told to keep an eye out for Muslims driving car bombs. But one thing we are not doing is living in fear.
They wanted to terrorize us, but as Americans, we refuse to live in fear. Yes, we face a determined foe, and make no mistake, they will keep trying to hit us again. But as we're showing again this weekend, we remain vigilant.
Thank you!
Speaking of fear, not one person was killed in America by terrorism on September 11th, 2011. However, black-on-black gun violence did take a number of lives that day, including 5 young men here in town. 5 dead in one day, in 5 separate incidents. Aaron Tucker was shot dead in the head shortly before 12:30 a.m. on the 1800 block of North Newkirk Street in the city's Brewery Town section. Shortly after 3 a.m. Sunday, police found 22-year-old Alfredo Santiago of South 5th Street bleeding to death from multiple gunshot wounds inside a car parked on the 1000 block of North 5th Street. Around 3 p.m., a 22-year-old Kevin Underwood was shot in the chest and lower torso outside the 2700 block of West Eyre Street in North Philadelphia. 22-year-old Christopher Lee of Kershaw Street was fatally shot in the chest at 7:30 p.m. on the 1600 block of North Lindenwood in Overbrook. 28-year-old Alonzo Dennis of West Philadelphia was fatally shot in the neck in the 5200 block of Master Street. There is no punchline that goes with this.
Dad, Mom, Jewel, and I miss you. You are forever in our hearts. Rest in peace.
Michael L. Bocchino.
Susan M. Bocchino.
Dira Francis Bobley.
Bruce Douglas Bone.
In other news, a local man, Richard Brakeman of Bluebell, a vice president at Morgan Stanley, recently climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. That's Mount Kilimanjaro. I just like to say Mount Kilimanjaro. One of the tallest mountains in Spain. And what did he do when he got to the top? Why, he unfurled his Eagles banner and took a picture of it, of course. That is about the dumbest. And this guy is a vice president at Morgan Stanley? No wonder we had to bail their asses out. His company is laying off 20% of its workforce, and there he is on top of a fucking mountain. It's like hard work climbing that high. No doubt you had help from the Sherpas. I hope you're working that hard to save your employees their jobs. I'm AP Ticker, and I've walked through the desert on a horse with no name.
I feel how weak and fruitless must be any words of mine, which should attempt to beguile you from the grief of a loss so overwhelming. But I cannot refrain from tendering to you the consolation that may be found in the thanks of the Republic they died to save. I pray that our Heavenly Father may assuage the anguish of your bereavement and leave you only the cherished memory of the loved and lost, and the solemn pride that must be yours to have laid so costly a sacrifice upon the altar of freedom.